Kenny Logan Jr., and I'm blessed and proud to be a Jayhawk.
What's up, everybody, and welcome into another edition of Haney and the Hawks right here on Kansas Nation and kansasnation.com. Thrilled to bring you one of Lance Leipold's absolute favorite personalities and players of his tenure at the University of Kansas, and a guy that has gone on to have great success professionally as well. Mr. Kenny Logan is with us today. Kenny, great to see you, buddy.
Great to see you. Thanks for having me.
Man, it's so cool to have you back in Lawrence. And while I'll always think you look the best in crimson and blue, you're rocking the green and gold for folks listening to the podcast and not watching on TV right now. The Edmonton Elks, a star in the CFL, following in your brother Brandon James's footsteps with Edmonton. Talk about life north of the border.
It's definitely different, but exciting. I was blessed and grateful for the opportunity just to be able to go out there and showcase my talents more. Blessed to be out there on the field again. So it's definitely fun. I definitely take advantage for every opportunity that I get out there. So
Yeah.
I try to make the most of every chance I get.
Man, no doubt. And we're going to talk for 90% of today's conversation about Kenny's KU career, obviously, but it's great to see Jayhawks going on and carving out their niche at the next level. Of course, your initial opportunity came with the Rams. Tell us a little bit about, your last 24 months or so since wrapping it up in 2023, the NFL and CFL journey, and then where it currently stands. Because I understand there's some flexibility with CFL contracts should another NFL opportunity arise.
So end of the season, went undrafted, signed with LA. Was there all through training camp. Some stuff happened along the way and on the business side of things. So, they always made their decisions. Grateful and blessed for that opportunity. I learned a lot being up there for those couple months, just being able to talk to the vets and just pick their brain about how I can make my game better. Ended up getting released in August, came back down here, was here the whole time, training and stuff like that, just staying ready, prepared for whatever came next. Had a workout with the New England Patriots. That went well. And then it just kind of went on throughout the year. Just stayed up here training. Just continue to believe that I had the talent to be at the next level. So whatever opportunity that looked like, I was ready for it. So coming into by October, November, Edmonton had reached out to me because I was at the facility and I had seen one of the scouts and then just kind of talked with them then. And he liked my game tape that they watch over in the facility. So signed with them in December and then ended up going down there in May. And then, you know,
How about that? For folks that don't know, the Elks are a tradition-rich CFL franchise, 14 Grey Cups, and of course, Jayhawks are no strangers to excelling in the CFL. And I think most recently about John Cornish's legendary career. We called him the Canadian Comet. And even Willie Pless before that, prolific tackler at the CFL level, one of the all-time legends. So those are the guys I think of when I think of you following in footsteps. But the fact that there's a personal connection to the Elks, as I referenced in your brother Brandon James, that has to mean a lot to you.
yeah, it's definitely exciting. He played a little bit with the Colts and then ended up going down there after his little stint with the Colts. But when the opportunity came and they told me it was gonna be Edmonton, it was just crazy how it all worked. Like it was just meant to be. So
Yeah.
being able to go out there, following behind him and just making a name for myself has always been great.
What's been the biggest adjustment? Because the field dimensions are different, the
Yeah.
goalposts are in different
Yeah.
spot. Like describe this to our viewers and listeners.
I would say just getting adjusted to the field. The different climate change. So the
Sure.
weather is harder to breathe out there. My first couple weeks, my DC thought I had asthma for the longest because I couldn't breathe. He like I never seen anything like it before. But just getting used to that. The field size, you got your goal posts at the tip of the end zone instead of being at the back. So it was just a lot of ups and downs and bumps you had to just get used to get your foot in the door and get going.
Adjusting to Canada weather for a St. Augustine, Florida native. I remember when you were a Kansas freshman adjusting to Lawrence, Kansas
Yes,
weather,
that was crazy.
and one of the more bundled up guys on campus when winter
Yes,
hit.
sir.
And now you're north of the border.
Yeah, right before we left, we had so my apartment was through December,
Uh-huh.
but a couple days I was going to the facility. I had like a hoodie on and then I had like a heavy Carhartt jacket on after that,
Yeah.
and it was still cutting through the Carhartt jacket. I say it's time to go home. I
Right.
see y'all again next year or whenever, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
time to go.
Man. Well, I love it that you're thriving up there. Had an outstanding first campaign with them, so much so they quickly re-signed him, and speaks to your talent and your future, no doubt. As I said, though, this is Haney and the Hawks. We're here to talk about Jayhawk football and the stamp, the mark you made on this program. And so I've referenced your brother a couple of times. Let's start there. You're a young man that comes from a wonderful family, big family between your mom and your dad's side, 15 kids, right? Between the two families. But Brandon in particular was always an inspiration for you going back to your St. Augustine days. Pick up the story from there, having a brother that was a outstanding star at the Florida Gator program, and then as you mentioned, the Colts and the CFL. Was he the first inspiration to get into football? And then when did things really take off that you could be a big time football star too?
I definitely would say he was my first inspiration. I love the game since 5. I've been watching him since I was 5 years old. And probably I would say 4th or 5th grade, I really felt like this is
Yeah.
what I want to do. Just watching him excel at the next level. Being at the University of Florida, I used to go out there, go in the locker room, and just be around all those guys. So it just made me fall in love more and more every day with the game. Just being able to blessed to have somebody in your life like that, a good role model, is amazing. He just texted me today. He's getting inducted into the because he already got inducted to the Florida University of Florida Hall of Fame. He get inducted to the University of Georgia, Florida, the game in Jacksonville. So he's getting
Oh,
inducted
very
to that
cool.
Hall of Fame today. So that's definitely exciting just to see him continue to be blessed and continue to see him profit off what he did.
The game that's always, they say, the world's largest outdoor
Yes,
cocktail
sir.
party. Like they have a Hall of Fame for that
Yes,
game.
sir. He got inducted to it today.
That's really
Yes,
cool.
sir.
Well, I remember at the time you came to Kansas, we were talking about he got to play for Urban Meyer. You were signing up to play for Les Miles. And the thing that is a common denominator for Kenny Logan with initially Coach Miles, but then the coach that you finished with, Lance Leipold, you had a special connection with both. And I think it's just your personality, how gregarious and outgoing you are. But like you and Coach Miles would always, have some back and forth, witty banter on the sideline. And that almost immediately picked up with Lance Leipold once he got here too.
I just believe, because I always learn you always have to be open and be accepting to whatever circumstances or predicament you in. So just that's just who I grew up as to be, just a loving, caring, outgoing
Yeah.
person. So any chance I get to try to light up a room or try to make somebody's day better, that's what I'm gonna do. So coming in and connected with Coach Miles was it was definitely easy. I got to connect with him early. That was my guy for sure. But then just Coach Lipo, I just kept picking at him until he finally started and let me in. So just being able to connect with him along the way. I used to always first tell him, we still laugh about it today. I should tell Miss Kelly, make sure he smiles, man. Cause at first he was just straight, strict face, no
Uh-huh.
smiling. And then eventually he started to smile every day. So sometimes when he used to see me and I'm not smiling, I used to be mad at him about something. He used to get on me and say, "Make sure you're smiling." So just being able to build that relationship over time is something I would never forget. He texted me pretty much the whole season, checking in on me. I would call him just to check in on us, of course,
Yeah.
and make sure we're doing good. But it was always love, and it's always gonna be love. So I
Man.
definitely appreciate the relationship I built with him.
Anybody that was even remotely around this program for the last 3 years that you were here and Coach Miles had been gone at that point, Leipold had come in, we saw that special connection between you and Lance, and I saw the role you played in his very first offseason in keeping other guys on board amidst the coaching change and then helping be an advocate for future recruits coming in. I mean, you were beating the drum, pounding your chest for the future of Kansas football under Lance Leipold. And while we'll remember his contributions on the field, obviously, as a guy that 4 times over was decorated by the Big 12 as all Big 12 in some capacity, the role you played as a boots on the ground, I'm staying here and you should stay too, and you should come here if you're not here yet type guy, that ambassador role, that might be one of your best contributions. How do you feel about that?
I definitely accept and love that role because I love this place. This place when I came in, I came to a basketball game originally. So just falling in love with the atmosphere and how much the
Yeah,
people support the program was something that originally caught my eye. So just being able to give back to this university and the people of Lawrence
yeah.
meant everything to me. So if that was going on, making sure I got whatever recruit we needed, the top recruit, make sure I was with him on recruiting
Mhm.
whatever position he played. Because normally you get matched up with your position, but I was always the guy to go with whoever we needed to make sure we get him. So just being able to help in every facet that I could meant the most to me. I wanted this program to continue to grow, continue to be great, and continue to be a powerhouse. So every chance that I get or every chance that I had, I made sure I was doing something productive for this program. So if that's tomorrow or whenever I see the guys, because I'm probably gonna go back up there and talk to them in a little bit. I was just up there, and that's just going to holler at everybody and just giving them a word of encouragement.
Yeah.
Even if they might not need it or if they do need it, I'm just still gonna try to get in everybody ear and just push positive words like I've always been doing for this program.
That's fantastic. We're lucky to have a guy like you in that role. What was it about Coach Leipold in those early days that convinced you right away, hey, we're in good hands? He's going to take this thing where I thought it was headed? Because I know part of why you turned down some SEC schools and ACC schools was you wanted to carve your own path, do something different at Kansas. You thought it was going to be with the original coaching staff. It wound up being with Lance Leipold, and you got to those bowl games after all.
Thanks.
But how did he convince you on day one, week one, that those dreams could still be possible?
His message when he first got in is that he's a program builder. We saw that from his resume when he first came in, and then he was just strict and precise about how he was gonna do it, like the details and every facet of how he was gonna get this team and this program to where he wanted to be is the thing that caught my eye. He laughs and we joke about it today, but the details and the structure of our program was the thing I love and hated the most about it because we never had it before. So just being able to like restructure your brain and restructure the whole program is what we needed to get to where we wanted to go.
And he is truly special in that regard. Matt Gildersleeve, a big part
Yeah,
of
my
that.
guy.
The detail, the organization, the structure. Speak to Coach Sleeve, the role he plays there.
Same. I would say the same. Coach Sleeve is a loving person. He cares for the guys. He's definitely all for his players, on and off the field. He helps you get better in every facet of life. And I'm glad I had him as a strength coach. But we all like originally when I first got here, we used to bump heads because it was so hard for me getting used to not the new scheme of things and the how we ran it. But once we got going, it was easy to buy in because I was all for the program and helping our team win. So just having those guys, they never let me slack. They never
Mhm.
backed off of me when I had my days because we all have them. They always stayed on me to get better and be a great leader for this team.
Absolutely. Chance to dive a little bit deeper into your Kansas career, some of your favorite moments, memories, relationships. That's really what this podcast is all about, is looking back on the glory days. And for you, you bet on Kansas when there was no guarantee of glory. And as I alluded to in our previous segment, you had to tell a lot of folks back in St. Augustine, yeah, I'm not staying in this part of the country. It might sound crazy. I'm going to Kansas, but I want to carve my own path and do something there they haven't done in a while. Tell me what made you convinced that you could help make Kansas a winner, and that by the time you'd hang it up, you do things at Kansas that we hadn't seen done since the Mark Mangino era.
That was just my role. I feel like growing up in high school, I started off at the St. Augustine High, which was the high school everybody go to. It's the big high school in the city.
Right.
And then ended up switching schools and going to Pedro. And for 16, 17 years, they swept us, swept us. So my last year, we finally won, and like just being able to experience that just told me like just dare to be different. Dare to be different, dare to make your own path. So off I had all the offers of across the state, across everywhere the country. And just being able to come to the sleeping giant, I felt like Coach Jones always referred to as a sleeping giant. And in my heart, I felt like I want to be different. I want to change the program. And I didn't know what facet or how I could do that, but I just felt like I could play a part in flipping this thing around and being something different.
We saw that flip occur once the coaching change was made. Obviously, the staff that recruited you recruited a lot of other great players, and those are probably some of the key core relationships of your time at Kansas. But things really started to click in 2021. And I'm going to pick up the story in that year only because I think that's also when your career trajectory in terms of impact really took off. You were making great contributions before, but 2021, this guy led the nation's amongst safety position in tackles, 113 tackles. It would begin a stretch of 3 years in which he averaged about 105 tackles per year. And there were some amazing highlights along the way. Talk about 2021 starting to take on a bigger role, both leadership and production. And then eventually a prolific win at Texas occurred. That had to be special.
That was just all from trust and coaching. Just the staff that was put around me to help me grow and be a better player was amazing. I believed in them and they believed in me. And then just being able to trust your teammates. We had crazy talent on that team from Lonnie to Kyron to our cornerback. So it was just being able to help those guys and be a safety valve when I needed to be playing safety, and just trusting on my teammates, leaning on my brothers.
What was it like on that Saturday night in Austin, Texas, when you win in overtime to take down UT and you do something that sadly at Kansas for the previous decade, KU fans were kind of feeling like we don't win on the road. It's not what we do. It's just not something we're capable of. You guys changed that narrative, and my oh my, have we enjoyed a lot of road winning ever since.
That was definitely a feeling like no other. Just being able to go into that place, 100,000, uh, heavy underdogs, and just being able to compete. We always that year we always felt like we had it, but we just could never find a way to finish. And then that game really, I feel like, sparked the turnaround for the rest of the year, the turnaround for the rest of my years at the university. It was definitely exciting. I remember at the end of the game, I went up to hold Coach. We hugged Coach Lipo. It's a picture to this day. Me hugging him. It was just a crazy, surreal moment. Just to share that with my brothers and teammates. One that I probably will never forget.
You didn't win the final 2 games, but the fact that you were so competitive in both of them, including nearly winning at TCU the very next week, I think proved to a lot of people that, okay, Austin was no fluke. This clearly is a program on the rise. And similar to the end of Mangino's first year at Kansas, you saw how much the competitiveness gap had been narrowed. KU was in these games for the first time in a long time. Now, in year 2 of Leipold, like year 2 of Coach Mangino, it's time to start winning them. And that's exactly what you guys did. A bowl eligibility season the very next year, chance to go to the Liberty Bowl. Talk about that transition from just getting competitive and coming close to now showing up every Saturday, feeling like you had a great chance to win.
That was just a part of trusting the script, trusting the offseason program, what Coach Sleeve laid out, and then trusting what Coach Lipo with every detail that he put in the program. I felt like that the next year it was like we got it. We felt like we had it. We knew we had it. So we just trusted the process and put in more work. Every year we tried to get better, but that next year we felt like every game is ours because we can compete now. We got the script to win it and we know how to win. So let's just go out and compete. That year we felt like we let a couple get away from us that year, but it was just amazing to finally push through and reach that bowl game.
If the win in 2021 at Texas was the turning point, I feel like a lot of your teammates and people from the Leipold regime say that the liftoff point was the following season when you won early in the year in Morgantown, the Kobe Bryant pick six, JD saying new era, new era. You guys race out to this 3-0 start. You beat Houston after that. Was that where things were really materializing in the win column and look out, here comes Kansas?
Yeah, that year it was like, here we go. We
Yeah.
got it. We see it. We know what to do. We got the script. We believe in one another. So every week when we win, the Morgantown win was so big because it just sparked the whole rest of the season. So every game we approach it like we got it. We
Yeah.
finna win. And then once we had that win, that victory, it was like find ways to keep doing it. Find ways to keep this feeling going.
Yeah.
Cause it felt like no other. And then I think we cruised to a 5-0 start that year. So it was definitely fun and exciting. Just being able to see that like all our hard work is starting to pay off.
Yep.
It's starting to go in the right direction. We just got to keep believing, keep finding ways to get better each week.
You had a huge play against BYU.
Yes, sir.
Scoop and score.
Yes, sir.
Take me back to that moment.
No, the scoop and score was Kobe.
Kobe was the truck stick hit.
Yep,
Picked it
scoop
up.
and score. Miles was the tip pick six.
Tip pick six. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When you have multiple by your great DBs, it's hard to keep them straight. And honestly, I was going to ask you about Kobe and Melo and all the guys in that secondary because as the wins started to pile up, the personality started to shine. And suddenly our secondary had swagger.
Yes, sir.
We had Kenny Logan leading the way,
Yes.
but all you guys making plays, talking a little bit of talk in a professional way that, hey, Kansas is not your father or grandfather's Kansas. This is the new era. And you guys backed it up week in and week out.
Just a little bit of that. I always, when they first got there, I always stayed in the ear. I believed in their talent. Melo was another guy that I helped get here with Coach Lipo, Coach Jackson, and all those guys. So I believed in them when they first got here. I knew they were going to be special. I stayed on them. Sometimes it was tougher days than others, but just being able to play with a backfield like that and have two great down lock corners, and then you have OJ and Marv also in the secondary. It was a lot of personalities. There's a lot, a lot to handle with a lot of control. But once we were going, and once we believed in each other and trusted each other, we felt like we could compete with the best of them.
OJ Burrows had a big pick at Texas. Y'all made big plays in big games. That's what's so cool. We could sit down with the entire defensive backfield, and you all had a handful of signature moments. What were your favorites? I know I skipped ahead of your early seasons when you had the great game versus Iowa State with the kick return touchdown and the first career interception. That has to be up there. If I asked you to list off maybe your favorite 3 individual moments, which would you choose?
I would say originally the kick return. I felt like that jump started to who I am,
Uh,
to people really knowing who I am. I would say, I would say that's a tough one. My first pick six, I say BYU. That was
okay.
exciting too. Also, for my personal. Another one would be,
A lot to choose
yeah,
from. I'm putting you on the
that's a
spot here.
yeah,
And we're still gonna talk about the guaranteed rate bowl team in a second, but
that's a lot.
you had to think of one more individual moment. And I'm glad you led with the kick return because that was something your brother Brandon James was known for, and so that had to be on a personal level special.
I would just say the tackle versus Nevada,
Yes.
close the game out with a couple seconds left. Just
Yes.
being able to make that play, seeing Coach Lipo excitement, him giving
Yes.
me a hug again. I would say that.
And that was the perfect segue and transition to that season because that was the type of road game. It's not a conference road game, but it's a tough one. Late night game, program that, has a history of surprising teams out there on their home field, up in the altitude, all that. And, a lesser team might have let that one slip through the grass, but you made a play to seal the victory, one of the biggest hits of your career. And it kind of kept the upward momentum that was building within the program at that time early in the month of September of 2023 when a loss out there could have given you a sidestep or a stumble back, but you made sure you left Nevada, you left Reno with a big time win.
Yes, sir. That was definitely exciting.
That season ends up being a 9-win campaign, and it was not without adversity. Obviously, Jalen Daniels gets hurt. Jason Bean has to step up. But this is what you came to Kansas, to quote your words as a freshman, to go to bowl games and to win bowl games. And you knew that there was going to be adversity along the way, but talk about navigating a season where you guys were dealt a couple difficult hands, but Bean steps in, you guys keep bringing the thunder on defense, and you ride it all the way to 8 regular season wins and a ninth out there in Phoenix.
Again, that's just trusting the process. Bean and JD, they both prepared as they were the starters. So when Bean came in, it was no drop off. He had the same great ability and talent that JD had. So we trusted him. We wanted to make sure we did everything in the power to get stops and get him back the ball. And he wanted to do everything in his power to score touchdowns. So just playing complimentary football and just believing in each other. Any chance I get, I used to tell him, we got you, we believe in you. Keep finding ways. Because throughout that year, it's always ups and downs in the season. We had that one, and then we had a couple games where we let the K State and the Texas Tech game slip away from us that we could have been probably a 10-11 team, a 10-11 win team. So it's just being able to still find ways when you lose tough and tight games like that is a team that can be great because you find ways to get better. You find things to help your team propel to the next step.
One you didn't let slip away and you made sure to get a generational win for Kansas. You take down Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Memories of that day, the celebration after a monumental win for this program.
That was so exciting. Just seeing the fans rush the field. Because a couple years before, I think when Coach Lipo first got here, we had him on the ropes again, and we
Yeah.
didn't finish that game. So just being able to do that in front of our home crowd, uh, was so exciting. Seeing them rush the field. I think was that a game they took down the goalpost or
Oh,
no?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they took down the goalpost. So just being able to see all the fans run up and just the excitement of everybody, it really drove me the whole year. Just seeing how happy they were to see that.
Devin Neal, of course, was huge in that game, as he was in so many of these signature Kansas wins of the Leipold era. And you have a fun exchange with Devin to tell
Yeah.
us about Lawrence, Kansas kid from just down the road at LHS. Of course, you come from Florida, which is a football factory. How did those initial conversations go?
When he first got here, I told him, I'm like, man, I don't know about Kansas football. I don't really know too many people who play here. He like, man, I'm gonna show you the whole time. So just having that little nitpick and banter throughout the year, and over the time, he showed me he definitely did that.
Yeah.
Becoming our all time leading rusher, all time touchdown holder. It was great to see it unfold because I remember just coming up to him like, man, you got to prove it to me that you can play football. But just being able to be on team with guys like that was so
Yeah,
special to me.
absolutely. Who are the relationships you savor the most, and who are the guys you're still in the closest of contact with?
Probably my DBs.
Yeah.
I talk to them a lot, but I talked to JD. I called him. I called him the week before the K State game. I called him multiple weeks throughout the season. I talked to him a lot. I was talking to Devin. I talk to Devin all the time. Still talk to Rich. So any chance I get to come and check back in or just holler at any guys that still here or anybody that left here, I feel like I should because those connections you'll never forget. We shared great moments throughout the years that I mean you'll probably hold forever.
Sounds cliche, once a Jayhawk, always a Jayhawk, but
Always.
you're one guy who I think really embodies that. It means something to you. And the way you carry on those relationships and carry on, the role of an ambassador for Kansas is really admirable. So thank you for that. Let me close before we head to our final segment with just that night in Phoenix when you take down UNLV, final game of your collegiate career, and you're hoisting that trophy from the Guaranteed Rate Bowl. Lance Leipold's to your right. You got all the captains with you there. How special was that? The culmination of a dream you'd had for so many years, and you finally got it done in your last game.
It was it was everything to me. That moment right there, just finally being able to hoist the trophy up after saying so long that this is what I wanted to do for the program is to turn it around. It brought me into tears because I knew I was closing the chapter and another one was open, but this place I poured my heart into for 5 years, blood in, on and off the field, just it meant the most to me. So like that time right there, I was very emotional. Some would say because it just meant the world to me to finally do that and then just know that this chapter was closing. Like I wasn't all right that day. It was definitely tough for me because I had so much love for my brothers and then I had so much love for this place. It was hard for me to let go. If they granted me a 6 year, I probably would have came back again because that's how much I love this place. But just being able to do that and finally see the excitement of our fans that we finally got it done, it meant the world to me.
Man, I love that. I remember how excited the fan base was when you put out the video that you were coming back for your 5th year. I
Yes,
can't
sir.
imagine what they would have done if
Yes,
we would have
sir.
gotten 6 with Kenny Logan, man. Well, those were happy tears, but also, I think, as you said, that's a good perspective. You also realized at the same time, this is the end of a chapter that's been one of my all-time great chapters. And that's why it's so cool that you stay so connected to Coach Leipold, the program, and all of that. We always close with our 2-minute drill, quick moving, not really hard hitting. They're softballs. Fun stuff, right? Right. So we'll hit you with 4 quick questions. You tell me the first thing that pops in your head. Feel free to expand on it if you want. But first off, when I first met you, you told me Jalen Ramsey was one of your heroes. And that's why I was hopeful the timing would have worked out a little better when the Rams signed you because he had just left the year before. That would have been meeting your idol. But I'm sure there were still guys either in that locker room or guys you competed against lining up across from you during your NFL experience where it was kind of like, wow, this is pretty surreal. I'm playing with this guy. Who's your favorite guy you teamed with or went up against in your NFL days?
I would say the Kobe Durant, Cam Curl, Q Lake, and then Cam Kitchens. And then I remember a funny moment when I had first met Matt Stafford. I'm like, man, I was watching you since I was like 8 years old, man. You kind of old. He like, oh wow, thanks. So just being able to connect with those guys was definitely
Sure.
exciting.
Yeah, I bet Stafford was great. What was
Yeah.
Sean McVay like?
Cool. Cool as a fan, precise, every detail, and just locked in on what he wanted for the team.
Did you ever pick off Matt Stafford in practice?
No, I never got Matt. Matt was hard to get.
I bet he was. I bet he was. Okay. We talked about your special connection with Lance Leipold. You probably see the sense of humor and the quick-witted side even more than most. What's your favorite thing about Lance Leipold that maybe the common fan might not know or see?
Uh, I would say he laughs a lot more than he gives off. He has a lot of jokes inside that he doesn't really tell a lot, but over the years I've quite to hear a lot of jokes that he had.
So serious on the sideline,
Serious.
but the day to day, like I would watch you guys ribbing each other in practice a little bit, and I thought there's only one guy that could get away with walking up to Lance.
Yeah, I definitely would poke him, and sometimes he used to get on his skin, but some days he used to do the same to me. And I used to think in my head, like, where did he just get that from? Like, how did
Uh-huh.
he? I say it's just us two learning each other over time.
And you said this earlier, just to expand on it quickly, not as part of the 2-minute drill, but the fact that he still texts you so regularly, you call back so frequently, really speaks to the authenticity of that friendship and that relationship, the connection you have with him. That's special, right?
Yes, sir.
That's not with every coach, I would think.
Nah, not at all. I mean, he probably I have a few coaches other than Coach Sleeve, and that's really it. I talk to Coach Lipo any chance I could get.
And I guess what I mean is like not every head coach
No, not at
across
all.
college
They don't.
football.
Not every head coach connects with a player as much as I did with him. I don't. I know a lot of guys who play college
Yeah,
ball who talk to their coaches, but it's not as frequent
yeah.
as how me and Coach Lipo still keep in touch with each other.
Says a lot about you both. It
Yeah.
really does. Okay, moving on. You're living life in Edmonton now. What's your favorite thing that's uniquely Canada, and maybe your least favorite thing or something you're not willing to try from life north of the border?
I would just say the thing I love the most is just being able to be out the country and just see all the unique places. I was able to travel to Lake Lenoir and Banff over the my bye week. So just being able to go
Wow.
out there and see those mountains and see the water was definitely crazy. One thing I would not try, and I kind of it's hard for me to get used to, is the poutine, the gravy on fries. I'm not a big fan of that. And then the hay. After everything, they said, "Hey, like
Hey.
hey." So it's just it was definitely difficult getting used to that, because I used to tell people like, man, why you keep saying that to me? Why what hey what are you saying hey for? No, I'm saying hey, I'm saying it's the same thing.
I was literally gonna bring that up. We're 40 minutes in and you've not dropped one A on me yet.
No, I'm not
Um,
I'm not I'm not switching, I'm
and
not
then
going
they'll be
for it.
like, "Are you going to the game or no?"
Hey?
Or
No.
A? Yeah.
Give her a.
So it hasn't come out in your accent, it
No.
hasn't come out in your,
No, it's not going to.
vocabulary
It's
at
not
all.
going to.
Okay.
It's not going to.
That's good stuff. And finally, I wish you could play in the new booth because you're one of the guys that helped build it. I mean, the success that you brought on the field in your Kansas career is a huge reason why Chancellor Gerard, Travis Goff, Lance, and everybody football focused on campus were able to get the donors on board to build this thing. So I hope you take immense pride. And I know you were over at the facility earlier today, walking around and seeing what you helped build. If only you could have played there. But is there a favorite aspect, seeing the pictures, seeing it in person? What are you most excited about with the new stadium?
The crazy part is, so the last time I came here, I had to make Coach Lipo, make somebody take me around. This part is I still haven't saw like everything. I walked back in the equipment room and almost got lost because that was my first time going back there. So just I peeked down the tunnel. I still have to go back. I haven't been on the field yet to look at it.
Yeah.
So it's definitely exciting just to see from the outside looking in, like this is what it turned into. Like it gives me a great feeling to know like this is what the program came to. And then we got two great leaders from Chancellor Gerard and Travis Golf. I just texted both of them. I stay in contact with them as much as I can too. So that's just how much of relationships that I cherish them. Being able to lock in and text the chancellor is like I was telling somebody that when I was in Canada, we were in the weight room. They were like, "Huh, the chancellor?" Oh yeah, I text him here and there. We talk all the time because that's my guy. But just able to be in there, build those relationships, and just
Yeah.
seeing how much they believe in this program is definitely exciting.
Since you brought up the academic leader of the institution, one bonus question in the 2 minutes drill. Whenever your football playing days are done, 10, 12 years down the line, who knows, maybe longer, what do you want to do? What was your ultimate degree in, and what does life after football playing look like?
I got a degree in sports management and a minor in business. So if that's the agency side or eventually being a coach,
Okay.
uh, I say coach with stars around it because I would have to deal with Kenny Logan, and I was kind of hard to deal with at first, but that would probably be it.
Kenny Logan having to deal with Kenny Logans. I love it. But you know what? I'd sign up for more Kenny Logans every day of the week and
Yes,
twice
sir.
on Saturdays because
Yes,
it was
sir.
so much fun getting to call your games. Number one on his back, number one in your hearts. Kenny
Always.
Logan, welcome back to Kansas. Thanks for joining us today.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
This has been Kenny Logan on Haney and the Hawks.